Hi, Jenny Stone here from HR Shield with your HR Rescue. Each day we get hundreds of questions from our clients and other small and mid-sized business owners about some of the most common HR issues. We figured if they have those questions, you might too. So let's provide a lifeline and share our answers to some of the most common scenarios. When an employee's family member or close friend dies, employers often give them time off work to grieve. But what happens when the person who passes away is a colleague? When bereavement and grief happen to your coworkers, you can be profoundly affected too, and you also may want to know what to do. The employer and coworkers can offer support and assist employees to deal with personal tragedies in the workplace. Here are several steps that employers can take to help employees through the grieving process. Evaluate employer policies before a loss occurs. Many workplaces offer paid time off for bereavement, but it is rarely enough to grieving an employee. Employers should consider its policy and how fair it is with similar workplaces. Employers should ask, can additional time off be offered? Will any additional time off be without pay? Can HR arrange a grief workshop? Many organizations offer free and low-cost services. Can it use the company EAP, local hospitals, or hospice centers, which are excellent resources, to offer training and support? The best time to plan for a loss is prior to the need. Communicate quickly. After suffering a loss, the first call outside of the family that many employees make is to their employer. It is crucial to respond with empathy. When told about the loss, the employer should ask what they can share with coworkers. Depending on the type of loss, many details might be private and best left unsaid. This can be especially true if a crime or suicide is involved. It is okay for the employer to ask pertinent questions about the employee's workload so that the work can be covered while the employee is out. Employers should ask for the employee's passwords to check their voicemail and emails. This will allow the workplace to forward calls and possibly emails to ensure coverage. Once the loss is known, it should be communicated with HR. HR can begin working on issues such as accessing life insurance policies if appropriate, applying for leave, emergency loans, sending flowers, or other condolences. Consider the work environment. If the workplace is large, it could be overwhelming for an employee to receive calls from each of his or her coworkers. Instead of having every individual employee call or somehow offer support, the employer may want to consider asking HR to spearhead support, or it might be appropriate to allow a colleague who is close to the bereaved to assist. If one person is selected to make contact for follow-up questions, such as finding out the funeral and visitation arrangements, the employer should make sure a plan is in place to communicate this to all employees. What has been done for other employees who suffered a loss? It is important to know what has been done in the past because it would not be good to send flowers to one employee and not another. Employers should encourage coworkers to help the bereaved through their grief. No matter how small the gesture, it will be appreciated by the bereaved and it can help empower coworkers. Help coworkers. If at all possible, employers should allow all staff members who so desire to attend the funeral and/or visitation. This can have a huge positive impact on the employee experiencing the loss, as well as on their coworkers. Management should also attend at least one of these events. While the employee is out, temporary or reassignment of duties will be necessary. HR should talk to those who will be assisting during this conversation. HR should allow the employees to refuse or to communicate why they cannot help. If it is due to their own workload getting too big, the employer should consider where some of this employee's duties could be assigned to others. Once reassigned, the employee should be thanked for helping the supervisor, the company, and the bereaved. If HR would like them to continue to complete these duties while the bereaved first returns to work, this should be requested clearly and openly. Ease grieving employee back into work. The supervisor should plan to meet with the employee shortly after his or her arrival. The supervisor should have an action plan in place. The employer should consider the past duties of the bereaved. Will he or she be able to continue to complete them? Some possible issues an employer should take into consideration would include: will childcare now be an issue? Does the bereaved work with the dangerous chemicals or hazardous materials? And will lack of concentration present imminent danger? Can the company allow the employee to work a flex schedule, telecommute, job share, or transfer to another position within the company? It might also be helpful to tell the employee to take breaks as needed, to feel free to set up regular meetings with an EAP or a grief counselor, or possibly even to pair up with a close colleague to have someone to talk to when feeling overwhelmed. Follow up. A planned meeting should be set up with the grieving employee when he or she first comes back to work. It is important to meet for this planned follow-up with the bereaved. During this meeting, it is important to apply the following. Ask them how they are doing. Listen, even if they get emotional. The employer should not worry about getting emotional or not getting emotional. Just be natural. Ask what can be done to help them on the job. Expect setbacks, especially around holidays and anniversary of the death. Have an HR question you'd like answered? Leave your topic idea in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And you can always email us for more information at support@hr-shield.com.